Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 129. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, the conclusion of the dawning, brings new tidings to the guys. They bring the news with the first TWAB of the year, and we unpack an exciting update on the development of Destiny 2. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and here with me is CyborgSasquatch. Hey, man.
Hello, Guardian.
How's it going?
It's going great this week, man. Are you
Everybody
pumped?
Doing all right?
Are you pumped up?
Yes, we've got plenty to talk about.
I got more excited the other day on Twitter than I've been excited since Destiny 2 released.
Why?
Because we got some developer updates.
That's a pretty big stretch, though, man. Did you say since Destiny 2 or more than? Now I don't remember. Okay, since. Okay, I didn't hear it right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes, we've got some exciting stuff to talk about this episode, man. Your week been all right, though? Everything going smooth?
Just busy.
Family healthy?
Yeah, I did some traveling this week and working and just been busy week. Like I said, back to the grindstone. So,
Yep.
Let's start the year off right and
Dive right in.
Yep. So been, keeping up best I can with what's going on in the world of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that after a quick announcement. We did have some winners of a previously mentioned contest. Congrats if you were awarded a $50 Amazon gift card.
Congratulations.
Thank you to all of you who nominated someone. That was very generous for you to have someone else's interests in mind, and we wish we had enough to give out to everybody.
Luckily, we had 3 to give out thanks to Dropkick Hoonigan.
So thanks, Dropkick, for donating those and doing something nice for some awesome Guardians.
Yes, very cool.
And we'll have another contest coming up this month before the month is out. Mm-hmm. So keep your ears peeled.
You know by now, we've always got some of that crispy blue gear to give away.
So much crispy blue stuff.
Oh. All right.
News.
The news.
First off, this week at Bungie, triumphantly returns. The gang's all here again. Cosmo's back from his hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of that baby. And the entire dev team has returned as well, and are raring to give us some updates on what to expect.
Deej was doing a good job at keeping us up to date on who had returned back to the office.
He gave us the play-by-play.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to keep the airwaves open,
Right, which is a good thing.
So first off, in this week at Bungie, we hear from game director Chris Barrett, who tags a separate post of a development update, which we're very excited to talk about. Mm-hmm. That's going to come up in our reset. But he mentions that they had made a promise to update us on plans for Destiny 2, and they were ready to share where they're headed. One important thing that he wrote in here, I'll quote. He said, "We used to wait to talk about game updates until we were certain we could meet our deadlines to avoid letting players down if we changed our plans. No longer. We're not just listening, we are doing. Please keep in mind that the further out we make promises, the more they are subject to change. With that caveat, here are our plans."
Very cool.
So I think that if they're going to stay that course, they're doing something we've kind of asked them to do for a long time.
That's what I was going to say, man. It's the community's been asking for that for a very long time.
So keep in mind we asked for it. So if things change, don't get too upset.
Right.
But you know what? I would rather, as a devoted player, have something in front of me than nothing,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
and
I'm excited they're going to do this.
it's, the reason the community's asked for it is because I think we all think we would feel better if we know there's an acknowledgement of something that we're wanting to see. And even if it gets pushed back a little bit, just knowing they've acknowledged it and are working on it, I think is what we'd prefer. So versus nothing.
This kind of goes to some life lessons that I've learned as a parent and as a business owner is when you treat people like they're competent and you treat them with respect, they're a lot more likely to live up to that expectation. When you treat people like an adult, they'll act like an adult. And so I think that by Bungie treating us like adults, hopefully the player base as a whole will act more like adults. And they're putting their, putting their kind of their necks on the line to hopefully see that expectation. So, but thanks to you guys at Bungie for doing that.
Yes.
All right. But some news, because we want to talk about all these updates, but there's some other news first. Faction Rally returns Tuesday, January 16th. We got some more images that we'd seen before of the ornaments that will be available for us to earn, along with, you can see in the Dead Orbit picture a ship. You can see in the New Monarchy picture a ghost. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a ghost, a ship, and a sparrow available some way to earn for each faction.
And it's all autos this time.
Yeah, and we got some autos to earn.
Rifles.
Which one do you want to get down with, man? Who do you want
to
win?
Well, we're still coming off of that New Monarchy win, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. I figured you would remember.
That New Monarchy auto looks sweet, though.
I know, that's what I was going to say. It does look cool. I tell you what, my least favorite looking auto there of our options is my Dead Orbit. It just,
you don't like the Vice model, dude?
Man, I don't know why. It's so funny. We always are opposites when it comes to this. It looks like Hive and stuff, man. Like, it's funny. We always like, I just don't. I'm more of like, I like the sleek, more modern. Even the New Monarchy ones kind of got more of a like modern auto rifle, like something you'd see in Call of Duty or something. But no, I'm just not a big fan of that gun model. I don't know why.
Well, all three look really cool. I'm most interested to see what the perks and the archetypes are on each of these. So auto rifles are, coveted weapons in Destiny 2.
Yes.
Very effective.
Positive Outlook is my new favorite, man.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Yep,
did you? I saw you made yours a masterwork, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I did the same.
We'll talk about that. Yep, in Reset, man. I got some cores like crazy this week. First thing I did, the Positive Outlook.
Had to go for it. I don't blame you. Okay, well, to whomever you will be pledging your allegiance this week, best of luck. Earn some ornaments and have fun. I can't wait to get my hands on these New Monarchy ornaments for all my characters because it looks super cool and shiny.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually I did take some time to look at like even the ornaments we have access to now, and it is cool to have that option. It's cool when they pop up and you unlock them too. So like I'm rocking the ornament on my Vanguard legs, I think.
Yeah, I really like how it just pops up when you finish it.
Yep.
Like just bing.
It's cool.
You got it. You did it. It's always like a nice surprise, like you're slaying some Vex and
classic.
Bling.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. Okay, and then down in the Destiny Operations Center, we've got some updates on a hotfix 1.1.1.3 that will be deployed on this reset January 16th to fully remove Curse of Osiris requirements from seasonal content. I swear that they had already did this, but maybe they were just prepping it. But that's going to happen, and it kind of gives a timeline, but basically it's scheduled to end at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And they give some participation requirements for faction rallies, got to be level 20, completed the Red War campaign, completed the faction rally's introduction milestone, and pledged to a faction. So pretty simple to jump in and participate in that. Don't have to have any extra content besides the game. And then the movies of the week return.
It's all back, man. No, actually, I did not this week. I have not. I read the TWAB second and the dev update first, and then once I scrolled through the TWAB, I went back to the dev update. So I still need to check out the movies of the week.
This movie of the week, the Dawning Montage, is a member of Rezo, and follow each other on Twitter. This is I think it's Lego. What is it? Lego Flash, I think he goes by.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some really awesome editing techniques that I am jealous of. But
now I'm gonna have to watch it, dude. We chatted with him a little bit at GuardianCon.
Yeah, montages were really big in Destiny 1. I have not paid attention to montages since Destiny 2, so keep that in mind. But I think this is the coolest one I've seen in Destiny 2 that makes that PvP look pretty good.
Yeah, he I don't know if I'm watching a little bit of it right now. We chatted a little bit on Twitter on one of his from Destiny 1 because he did some of that slow-mo stuff, dude, and it's so cool.
Yeah. That's what I like. And
yep.
You can probably make that stuff look amazing if you've got like high res PC, high frames, you know? Like if you can run at like 120 frames and capture that and then slow it down. Oh my gosh. It probably looks so smooth.
Game's beautiful. We all can agree on that.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Another notable movie honorable mention in here is our friend Lady Desiree, who has done a piano arrangement of the song Journey from Destiny 2. I would check that out. I always enjoy her content. It's really nice.
Her streams are always peaceful too, man.
Yeah, anytime I'm
nice
just
piano.
just want something to chill and enjoy, and like something low impact, low key, like I'll turn on her streams and just see what she plays. Cool lady.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that is that week at Bungie. And we've got some other news for the reset.
Oh, man. The meat of the show.
Absolutely.
We're going to start with our own resets. We're going to start with the dev update.
I'm trying to queue it up so you could say it, but how was your reset, Arrow?
Dude, my reset, I'm so glad you asked. You know, I actually got some playtime in this week. A few short sessions, but
nice.
The game was very kind to me. I just tweeted out earlier, I got 6 masterworks this week. So I don't know what's going on right now with my RNG. I didn't get any last week. So we've talked about this before. We talked about it a little bit before the show, that there's some sort of algorithm going on behind the scenes when they take your average play time for the week and reward you accordingly. Bring you back.
Yeah.
But man, I played 2 or 3 different times this week, just, a couple hour sessions here and there, and doing my usual strikes, things like that, doing some public events, and I got 6 of them to drop. Broke most of them down. Like I said, I upgraded my positive outlook, and I'm sitting on like 6 more cores from what I got to drop. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to upgrade next. But yeah, dude, I just been doing my usual, like I said, strikes, public events. I did a little dress up, decided to spend a little time seeing what shaders I had. You ever just go through your shaders and you can always tell if you like them or not if you just go to them in your actual inventory and look at your Guardian, like in all of that shader.
Yeah.
So I went through like every single one of them, and I found like 4 or 5 that looked really good. And I decided I was going to make my Titan, even though I'm rocking Saint 14. I usually try to like embrace the purple when I'm rocking that. And then I remembered that the color that's in the helmet will go with your shader.
Right.
So I still almost man, I should rock the purple, but like, I'm not going to do it. I looked at a couple of shaders and I'm like, man, these look really Vault of Glass-ish. So I went with
because some of the new Osiris shaders and stuff.
Dude, some of the Vex ones, There's one that looks like the rusted green and brown, and then there's another one that's a little bit more shiny, and so I combined the two of
bronze
those.
Or something.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I used the green rustic looking one, but I used two different ones and just kind of mixed the brown with the white, and it looks. I'm pleased. And then, of course, you know me. I had to go change the shader on my ship, and I'm rocking the Grimoire emblem. You know, it's brown and purple. The one we got for having 5,000 or more Grimoire. Yeah. So I did like the whole dress up thing this week too, man.
Guardian dress up.
Yeah, exactly. Surely I'm not the only one that can lose some time doing that. It's like when you decide you're gonna do it, you just gotta go all out and try to make your Guardian look good. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to settle on like what my favorite PvE and PvP build is for each of my characters, so I can basically save them as loadouts and then perfectly customize the color coordination.
Yep.
And, playing Guardian dress up. It's fun.
I've got my Arc PvP loadout, and I've now got my Void PvE loadout. So
nice.
I'm feeling pretty good, dude. I think I might have mentioned this on the show already, but I did have 077, and then somehow I threw on some legs that had a little mobility on them. I haven't done all the crazy math, but now I'm 177. So I even actually fit in a little mobility, which, isn't really going to do much for me, but I'm very happy with my PvE build right now.
Got that. What do we call them back in the day? You get that tier 15 build.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Whatever.
Yep.
Tier 12 or
Till
whatever
tier 12. Yep.
was always going for.
Oh yeah. Man, I've been doing. I've been going around and trying to find some arms that don't have any mobility. Because as the game is right now, I'm just we're not searching for a lot of mobility, and it's easy for me because I'm running one character on two platforms. I'm trying to do that on three characters, like you mentioned, man. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on my two Titans, and I'm gonna go to each vendor and figure out what arms don't have any mobility or very little. And then I went down to Ikora and forgot she had that OG.
Yeah, she has the
beta armor, Crucible armor or whatever. And it's not Crucible, but it's like the what is the name of that armor?
It's got the doesn't it have the dragon on it though? Or not the dragon. What is it that the Titans have?
The lion, like the
lion or
lion. What is it? It's not a lion.
Griffin,
yeah, no, not a griffin. Griffin's
what is their symbol?
Oh my gosh. Somebody's tweeting us right now.
You look at it so many times that it just all becomes
a
mashup.
Yep.
I'm gonna look it up now just so we are
clear,
accurate and clear here.
Well, anyways, I had I still have the Crucible arms, like the ones you actually get dropped from the Crucible with the spikes on them, which they actually don't look bad with my loadout, but I've been going around trying to find some different ones that don't have any mobility, and those looked pretty good. So I've actually been running for the first time some meditations this week to try to get some tokens to see if I can get those arms to drop.
That's one thing I have done very little of in this game, is going back and doing any of the meditations, but I really like the hunter and the warlock sets of that particular armor, but I don't really like the Titan set, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the arms. The full set I actually don't mind, but
the one thing I don't like in any of the Titan armors is the bulky shoulders.
I know that's the thing. That's Titan problems, man. Like it's always about the arms, the shoulders.
It's always about the huge pauldrons.
Yep. It's either it's like they're either. Well, there's only one that's not that are one of my favorites, and I think I've mentioned them before. It's that Lost Pacific gauntlets. But the rest of them, man, even like the Trials ones, they have the weird, they look like Hive stuff to me. I keep going back to the Hive. There's like two spikes on them, but the Crucible ones aren't bad, especially with the Saint 14. They kind of look a little gladiator like, but they kind of go well with the Saint 14 look. But anyways, so yeah, a couple meditations. The Masterworks, I did realize I got so many this week. I do wish, and I'm pretty sure some people have mentioned this before, I kind of hope the Masterworks at some point have some sort of like physical decoration on them, to where you can tell that people have a Masterwork weapon, you know, other than seeing the orb pop out and watching for that. Like, yeah. I was trying to think of stuff that's like what they could do, something that you would notice. Like, I don't know if they could like make the end of the gun glow or something, or, you know, because if they put like a little keychain on the side of it, a little chain that hangs off, like you're not really going to see that. But anyways, I just randomly thinking on a tangent this week. I feel like Masterworks should have something like that.
It needs some kind of
you've mentioned that before, actually, sitting here talking about this. I think we've talked about it before on the show.
Yeah, it needs some kind of aura or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Something cool.
The glow.
Like, ooh, they got a Masterwork.
If it just kind of glowed a goldish sheen or shimmer, that would be good. Just a visual cue that if you looked at somebody holding it, you would know, oh, he's got a Masterwork sword. Okay, cool. I'm going to follow him while he chains orbs for me.
I'm going to look out for those orbs. Exactly. Yep. Plus, tease, we got the armor coming. So, you know, whatever they do, it would be interesting figuring out what they would do, because whatever it is, the aura would almost work. It's got to be kind of subtle, whether it's something physically on it, decorative, or like an aura, because you're going to have 4 pieces of armor that have it, you know?
The biggest thing I missed from Destiny 1 that they kind of slowly rolled out over so many years was all the like chroma and holographic effects and different shimmers and auras, and like I was just so stoked as they slowly like introduced all these cool visual effects that just made everybody look like just crazy, shiny, you know, fantasy characters.
Yeah, and it opened up so much customization. Like people, you'd stop at the tower and look at people and be like, whoa, what combination did they do here?
Yeah. I hope that they introduce some more of that stuff with like some of the next DLCs or expansions or whatever. That would be cool.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I've been playing this week. Still soloing it with the play times that I'm jumping on, but I'm hoping to, talking to the Dirt Fam team, maybe gonna have to schedule it on the books and try to get in a raid layer, hopefully within the next week or two.
Man. Then we can talk.
Yeah, right. But Xur, dude, I was trying to think the last time we talked about Xur. At one point,
colony this week,
dude. Yeah, I was laughing because at one point we even had Xur as like a bullet point of the show, and now like we don't mention him too often. But before we mentioned this week, I thought about you, man. Last week he had the Jade Rabbit, right? I think.
Did he?
Did you not get it?
I literally did not check Xur last week. Dude, if he did and I missed Jade Rabbit, I'm going to be so upset.
I'm pretty sure he did. I didn't even think about texting you because I just assumed you were all over that, man. I'm almost certain he had the Jade Rabbit.
I can't believe I missed it.
Because I watched a video, and what made me think about it even more is somebody saying they hadn't got to shoot the gun yet. Maybe don't go back and look then.
No, I have to now.
Forget that I mentioned this. And let's move on to what he has this weekend. He's got the colony.
No. Dude. I mean, and I played like every day last week, dude. I just don't check Xur anymore, man.
That was not intentional.
I just don't check them.
But he did have it. So when you get it, let us know what you think, other than the fact that the gun is gorgeous. So about that colony. I did go pick that up because I hadn't gotten that to drop yet. You've been telling me about that
what
thing.
Do you think?
I've just used it a little bit, not much, not enough to like
so depressed
see what we have to like pause and record at a later date now the rest of the show. Oh man, nobody troll Cyborg on this at all, please. No. I'm not winking right now.
I'm not gonna hear the end of this.
Don't troll him at all.
Never gonna hear the end of this.
No, I haven't used the colony enough to like. So is that thing potent? Like I did get it. I used it a little bit, but then I threw my play the game back on because it's like
wonderful
my highest light.
In PvE.
Okay.
Effective in PvP if you know how and when to use it.
Okay.
In PvP, I recommend that you you want to put it in crowds or groups of guardians. But even if not, what you want to do is try to shoot it in front of people's feet, so that you don't overshoot them and miss the opportunity for, like, if you overshoot them, let's say you're trying to body them in your medium range or something, and they dodge and it lands behind them, it might be too far if they run the other way for it to catch them. If you put it right at their feet, it's got a much better chance of crawling and landing on them, because I've found in my experience most of the time, you never see it coming.
Okay.
If it's used properly. If there's too much distance or somebody's missing, you can see the little spideys coming and you won't get away. But anytime I get killed by it, I never saw it coming. So you just got to use it effectively, and one of those little guys will pop somebody for death. Another couple tips is if somebody's up close, you can use it like a shotty, because there's no splash damage from the little spidey guy. So you won't hurt yourself like you might with a rocket or a grenade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I used it very little.
Face and pop them.
I'm still playing that light game. I'm 326 light now, which I also thought about this week, how nice it is. You know, I've mentioned several times I've been playing solo on the regular lately, and I do love that, just doing my milestones each week and stuff, I'm chasing that light level max. Of course, it's taking a little bit longer probably than if I was running the raid or something, but I'm still playing that light game. So when I bought it from Xur, of course, it was 305, so I used it for a second and then threw my highest light heavy back on. But I got to play around with it a little bit. You got me kind of hyped up here.
It's fun.
It sounds like it. Sounds like
it's fun. A lot of fun in PvE though, because you can kind of just do the same thing. But you're gonna kill everything, because enemies don't really dodge or run away from the spideys. So what I like is, if I'm like really in the middle of a bunch of ads and they're all just lined up in front of me, I just kind of go don't while I kind of move it right to left, and then just walk away and it attacks some other guys, and behind me I just hear pew pew pew.
That's awesome.
They're all just blowing up. It's kind of fun.
Awesome. That sounds fun, man.
It's a good gun.
That's
fun.
An exotic gun right there, right? That's
It's
what we want.
Totally unique type of weapon experience that just makes you feel good.
Yep. Goof off
like
with
Telesto.
Yeah, it still brings back memories though. If you introduce something like that in Call of Duty, and you were a PvP player in Call of Duty, which many are, it's like you didn't usually just play the campaign. It's like, oh man, this thing is gonna be so trolly. We talked about it before, like the little RC car that would go around and stuff like that. But you introduce something like this in Destiny, you just have a good time with it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's overpowered. They tuned it well from the gate. That just does about what you expect, and it's not obnoxious. Excellent. In its capacity.
Very cool. Well, I'll be spending a little more time with it this next week.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Anyways, your reset, dude?
My reset was sparse. I did not get much playtime in Destiny this week. What time I did get online, I got sucked into the Fortnite BR void that somehow sucks 6 hours at a time away, and you realize I gotta go to bed.
Are you playing on PC?
No, on console with some of my console buddies.
You remember me telling you, dude, when we had the Dirt Fam meetup, we started playing Fortnite at 1 and then went to bed at like one more, played till 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, well, you know what makes that game so effective is it puts you back in matches so quick. And so just doing one more it's like a never-ending vicious cycle. Like you can get back into a match so fast. It does that a lot better than like PUBG.
Yeah, it takes a bit longer in PUBG for sure.
Yeah, it gets you in there. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a good, it's a nice like refreshing type
it's
of
just fun.
Game.
That's
it's just a silly, fun game, and you can have some big plays, or you can get played big, and
Yep,
it's a fun game. So
I haven't played it in a little bit. Yeah, we played it on PS4, and then I started playing it on PC a little bit, but I haven't in a couple months.
But, we'll have to get on them PC and do it, man.
Be fun. We had a good time. We played PUBG together. We it's like we've been playing for months, man. We were doing work.
I know. I need to get back on some PUBG too.
Mm-hmm.
Got an itch for that. Get these itches I gotta scratch sometimes.
Gotta do it.
Yep. Well, all right. Ready to unpack this development update, man?
Dude, yes. I think we should go through the thing, and then like we normally do it. Yeah, at the end we'll give our thoughts.
Let's do that. All right. So to kick it off, they talk about content categories. And I like how they kind of visually laid out kind of what their plan is and what the terminology they're going to use is. So we understand like what are expansions, what are seasons, and what's Eververse and what content belongs in each. And so I think as we've understood, like expansions are contents you purchase and have things like campaigns, strikes, destinations, destination rewards, raid layers, new Crucible maps, new legendary exotic gear, all the things you normally expect to purchase. And then they have seasons, which are free for everybody. And they're making clear events like Iron Banner, faction rallies, seasonal reputation rewards, end-game playlists, seasonal events, and new features and updates are all part of seasons and are for free. Then you, of course, have Eververse, which they clarify are customization items, boons, and emotes. I think it's worth noting that according to Eververse panel here, the content included in that has been scaled down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if ships, sparrows, and ghosts are called customization items. I would warrant to say they aren't.
That's what I would think.
And they are making it clear as we move forward here, some changes to Eververse. I'm very excited that they are talking about. So let's talk about Eververse for a minute.
Yeah, they go ahead with what they're doing, and then I'm gonna see if you heard the same thing throughout the week.
Yeah, so they say we recognize that the scales are tipped too far towards tests at the moment, and Eververse was never intended to be a substitute for in-game content and rewards. So we'll be making 3 changes for upcoming seasons. So they mention shifting the balance of new content in favor of activity rewards over bright engrams. This includes adding ghost sparrows and ships to achievement reward pools.
That's like we talked about when Blue was on. We talked about Eververse. Is I wonder the key word there that I'd mentioned then was, does that mean only or also? That's what we don't know.
I think that's where the rub is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yes. Yeah. Bullet number 2.
Provide a gameplay path to earn bright engrams and all contained rewards, including event engrams. And will give players more direct purchase options and make adjustments to bright engrams to allow players to get the items they want more often. So then they start talking about Crimson Days, which, by the way, has been confirmed in so many ways.
Yeah.
Kind of leaked. And Cosmo did come on the forum and say, yep, Crimson Days is coming back. That's going to begin February 13th. And these changes are taking place. Completing Nightfall Raid and Crimson Days milestones during Crimson Days will reward you an exclusive legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow. Players will earn double engrams at level up, 1 crimson engram and 1 illuminated engram for the duration of the event. Crimson engrams can also drop from completing Crimson Days match and from completing the Crimson Days milestone on each character. And each is strongly weighted to new rewards when decrypted until all new event items have been obtained. So, all in all, how does that make you feel about Eververse in the future?
Well, I mean, it's basically covers, given the third bullet point where we'll make more direct purchase options available. I want to see what that means. I don't know if that means like we get rid of the second layer of currency.
Bright dust.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I mean, the two things that I put in my forum post of feedback have been addressed. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be. I think it could be good. You know, I think hopefully many people will be a little more content and or not feel so bothered by Eververse if it's not so. I like how they phrased it. That's shifting the balance. You know, they say they never meant for Eververse to be weighted so heavily, but regardless, as long as she's not going forward, I think a lot of people will be pleased.
Yeah. So. I want to see the implementation. But the intention of what it sounds like they want to do here makes me feel 10 times better about how the game's going to be moving forward.
Right. Yep.
I think it's fine for there to be cosmetics in the Eververse. I like that there will be a better way to get the event stuff. I think it's a great idea to have the double engrams dropping, so you're not having one in place of the other. You know, you get a chance to get the season stuff at the same time as getting the event stuff. They're definitely taking some cues from other games that have implemented this well, like Overwatch and other games that we've talked about before. So if they can pull a lot of the stuff, I think, that has been in the Eververse, or at least a large majority of it, out and put it in the game so that we have direct routes to get that stuff, I'm going to be very happy about that. And then, you know, they're mentioning that they want to provide some kind of more direct paths to get gear even in the Eververse, which I think is less confusing for the consumer, you know, less frustrating. Like, if you just want a thing, like, give me a way to earn it in a way that's reasonable and respects my time, you know?
And I was going to say too, one of the content creators I kind of follow pretty regularly, I don't know if they read this and that was their only confirmation, but I was watching Houndish this week, and he said that February 13th, when I read this, I didn't really notice a date for these Eververse implementations. And I'm not sure if the confirmation came from elsewhere or just from this sentence, but when I reread the sentence, it says, "We've begun implementing these changes for the Crimson Days event beginning February 13th. So
yeah, that
there means that we will see all of these Eververse changes, or some of them on February 13th.
The way I'm reading this, the first few bullet points will be for the new season, and the Crimson Days bullet points will be with that event. So the double engrams and the weighting of the Crimson engram, and completing the milestones to get a direct reward. But if I'm reading this correctly, the balancing of new content in favor of activity rewards over bright engrams won't happen until next season.
Season 3.
Gameplay path to earn bright engrams and direct purchase options. And all of that makes sense because there's probably going to be more code involved. Changing reward systems and putting things in different places and structuring it so it makes sense. I mean, that all makes sense, that rather than try to change how this entire content that's here now is available in the middle of the season, I think it makes more sense for them to come in with a clean break, so to speak, in season 3 when they're going to be pushing a big patch along with another DLC at some point in season 3. So
yeah, I guess season 3 will be March-ish.
Yeah, we don't really know. I mean, season 1 was September through December,
right? Yeah,
ish. Basically 3 months.
Yeah, so maybe March, April, depending on.
If it was 3 months, technically, it would be March, beginning of March when season 3 started. That doesn't have to coincide with the DLC. The DLC, I guess, could drop at any point in season 3.
Right.
So we'll
it is nice
out.
that they're, I mean, you know, it does make sense. Like you said, they're waiting until season 3 for several of those changes, but it's nice they're implementing some in season 2 with the next event. So,
yeah, if they want that event to be,
not have a gazillion Reddit posts about it.
If you don't want people to be perturbed and upset or just get bad press, they were going to have to do something different. The Dawning it didn't go off well with people,
right?
So I'm happy personally that they are at least making those changes for that event, so that I will have a better experience participating in it. Because I was totally prepared to just not even participate if it was anything like the Dawning.
Was it called Crimson Days in Destiny 1, and then the PvP mode was just Crimson Doubles? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking
I'm most interested is they haven't told us yet, because I guess we haven't gotten like official promotion on Crimson Days, like what we're gonna get, like gameplay wise. I'm hoping we get Crimson Doubles.
Yeah.
But they haven't told us any more than that. So I'm excited to hear what they may have in store in terms of gameplay. You know, that's what I care about with these events. Give us something, you know, even a little bit fresh to play the game with, you know.
Right. I agree.
All right, XP rates.
Just keeps coming up.
Still investigating changes to XP rates, earn rates. Our goal with any updates to XP are transparency and consistent XP gain regardless of your preferred activity. Right now, it's too slow in general and lopsided towards grinding specific activities, which is not a fun grind. And we want to fix that without making those activities low value to players who aren't grinding them. Fairness is cool. Our first attempt turned out to be unworkably buggy. So we're having to investigate other angles. We'll continue to update you as we move forward.
I was confused on that because have they had another attempt other than just like adjusting it too high when they fixed the XP?
I almost take that as like they tried something in house and it was a mess.
Because I didn't think we knew of anything. Because like the last we had heard, it just takes double, and it does.
Yeah, I think
it takes
they just
a while.
like changed some parameters right now, and I'm assuming that they're talking about like some in-house solutions they tried and probably tested.
Just making sure I didn't miss anything. It definitely takes a while to get you a bright engram right now.
It does, yeah. It's slower than it used to be.
I was happy with it before, at least how long it took, minus any other controversy that was going on. It always seemed like I got them pretty quick, but now it definitely takes a little bit.
It seems, depending on what you're playing, it's like 2 to 3 hours of play is about what I've found I'll earn a bright engram at, which seems a little slow. Like I would hope for maybe like hour and a half of play
would
earn you an engram, you know, depending on what you're doing. But if you're like out there like hitting activities, just strikes back to back, or you know, running public events, doing milestones, this and that, you know, if I'm like hitting it hard, I'd like to get, you know, make it rain on me, like bring them on.
It's a classic Destiny 1 like Remember how stingy the Crucible used to be and stuff? It's like, just give us
gosh,
loot.
yeah.
Like,
Just
that's all.
give us
That'll make
stuff.
us happy.
Like-
just give us things.
Like, most of it's worthless anyways, so dump it on me.
yeah, just do it. That's
I mean, you
what
get
feel
to
like.
a point, like, most of the stuff is just materials. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a grind. That's okay. Like, there's going to be repetitive stuff, so, like, make it rain, man.
That's like on strikes now. Granted, you know, a lot of the things that are popping up are tokens, but man, when you run up to that chest, it reminds me of Diablo nowadays. Like,
Yeah, I still love that loot
fun.
explosion.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, okay, so after that, they go on to feature and give us a roadmap. Yeah, they say, Barrett says, there are 3 releases that we want to put on your radar right now. Later releases will get more specific dates as they get closer. So this says the following content and features will be available to all D2 players regardless of expansion ownership. So on January 30th will be the first update, the next update we get. And the highlight of it is it's going to feature the Armor Masterworks, which he had teased for us a few weeks ago. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. I do enjoy the Masterwork system right now. We've talked about it. Definitely at some point want to see some more depth in these systems, but to get armor on this month, you know, it's kind of nice. And of course, everybody jumped to what it's going to do for us, and some were pleased, some were underwhelmed. But basically, the armor masterwork level, what it's going to do for you is it's going to reduce incoming damage while your super is active, is what it's going to do. So the other thing, and I wanted to chat about with you about this for a second. It said you can re-roll the armor stat type on Masterwork armor. Similar to Masterwork weapons, you can upgrade a piece of armor to Masterwork by spending cores and legendary shards. So the stat type, we talking mobility?
Yes.
That stuff?
Mobility, recovery.
That's fantastic.
Resilience.
You know, I immediately just started questioning it because I don't know what else we would be talking about, but I didn't even realize early on that are there certain pieces of gear. For example, this week I got 2 of the same legs and they had different armor stats on them. Are some static and some random on the gear?
As far as I
in the
know,
game?
they're all static.
See, because I got...
Are you sure they were the exact same?
They were retrograde DG2.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now, and I got another one this week, and it had more mobility.
It was a mod.
You think so?
It probably had, so you can get some that will just roll vacant, and then sometimes you'll get some that award with a mod, with a blue mod, and you probably had a mobility mod in there.
See, that's what stinks is the whole time I'm like, I thought
sometimes
it was static.
If you're lucky, you'll get a legendary mod in one.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, it's like, okay, I think armor's static. I'm pretty sure I've seen this, heard this, we've talked about it, and then you get one like I did this week, and I'm like, okay, if it's not static, that's fantastic. Then this is even more huge because, dude, this adds a big layer being able to re-roll it. Now, I don't know how much, you know, people were asking if the did he confirm on Twitter, Christopher Barrett, that I thought I saw a confirmation somewhere that it will stack with all your armor, the reduced incoming damage when your super is active. Have we gotten confirmation on that?
They had mentioned before that before this week, they mentioned that if they were going to do this, that the buff would be like a lower value per piece, so that, you know, if you get a full set, it's not overpowered. My guess is that they will stack.
Be kind of silly if they didn't, right?
That would be be the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the question is like, what's it going to add up to when you've got a full set? You know, it's going to have to be significant enough for you to want to get a full set, without probably being obnoxious or game breaking. So hopefully they've got the math figured out and it's tested.
I know I instantly think about, I mean, in PvE, you're just going to have a good time, take less damage. In PvP, it's kind of interesting.
It'll have a significant. It will have to have a significant effect. So,
yeah, because right now you can, which I do enjoy, that you can feel pretty confident taking down most supers. I still run from golden guns. But at Destiny 1, there was just so many supers you ran from. I
still get the most pleasure from shutting down golden guns.
Oh, right? Yeah. I still more than the rest right now, though. I run from the goldies.
I actively try to fight goldies because I love so much shutting them down.
Oh, yeah, it's a blast. It's usually always montage worthy.
But
yeah. It's like you can take someone down, of course, especially when teammates shooting with you, but even yourself, you can backpedal and take down a lot of the supers right now. So it'll be interesting to see what all your armor with the Masterworks, what it'll do for you.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
Next, they talk about raid reward reworks. Oh, this is
I know.
so exciting.
I said Armor Masterworks was the highlight of the January 30th. I may have said that too soon because there's some pretty neat stuff in here.
Way too soon. Raid rewards will feature mods with raid-specific perks. They're coming back, and we're adjusting the rewards to ensure raid item drops from each major encounter. The raid vendor will also directly sell Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchase with raid tokens and legendary shards.
What do you think, man?
I think it sounds like things are going to be less stingy. It's really kind of bringing things back to a Rise of Iron level system that I think worked pretty well in making people feel rewarded from all encounters, the ability to buy stuff to fill in the gaps where you need if you've got lots of tokens. I mean, I have a bunch of tokens right now that I just stopped turning in because I was like, I'm not going to get anything I want out of these tokens. So now I can save these and I can buy something if I don't have it, which is great.
Very cool.
And they're also adding a new ghost with raid-specific perks that has a chance to drop from the Leviathan in Eater of Worlds final encounters. We intend to return to creating more raid and other activity-unique rewards in the future. So that ghost, that's going to be the white whale for everybody. I don't know what the perks are going to be, but what it looks like, but that's going to be what I'm going to run for. I want to get that buddy.
So you already feel that energy a little bit now, like the reason to run the content,
Yeah.
It's
okay for the stuff to be self-reinforcing, like that's how a lot of grindy games work. Like you get the thing so you can play more of the thing to get the thing and play more of the thing, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's how, that's where raid specific perks were always really valuable to players because it made the activity in some way less challenging or easier or more fun or however you want to take it. But I'm excited for raid specific perks to come back because I don't ever wear the raid armor. I don't have a reason to. There's better stuff I can run. Well,
the other thing too is I'm just thinking about this right now. Actually, I love the Titan raid gear. I got
it's all really
pieces.
pretty.
Yeah, it's just that it's high in mobility. So if I could hit it up with a masterwork and re-roll it,
there you go.
That's huge. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, some neat stuff. Definitely
cool stuff. So tell us about this February update.
Yeah, so February they are reintroducing strike scoring plus high score tracking. So the strike scoring is coming to the Nightfall and replacing the current time limit mechanic. It's going to be similar to Destiny 1, but with adjustments to emphasize competitive execution of strike objectives and support for player selectable score modifiers. It does say in February the Nightfall high scores will be exposed in-game via new emblems and will unlock rewards. We also have plans for clan and community high scores in the works. So very cool. Yeah, it's really neat. I'm glad they're getting rid of that time limit mechanic. It seemed cool at first, but always chasing a high score is it just seems to be a bit more appealing. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Doing it that way encourages you to engage what's fun about the game, and play basically introduce a self-reinforcing challenge. If you're going for a high score, then you play in a style that will generate a high score with a challenge that exists, outside of the ultimate objective, like completing the nightfall, right? So you want to complete the nightfall, but also do it in a way that generates a high score. So you do it uniquely, as opposed to with just a time modifier, you're just speed running. Like that is it. You speed run everything. And you're always fighting the clock, and it's always about efficiency of, you run through a lot of ads and etc. And what worked really well with strike scoring is you engaged all the enemies. You tried to do it in ways that were cool and efficient and made you use all the tools at your disposal. So like you're saying, I think it's a smart replacement.
Well, plus, I was just all the feeds that I watched throughout the week. I hadn't really thought about it, but I heard this week it'll bring back the solo run a bit more as well,
Sure.
Because I don't know how feasible it was on some of those nightfalls, if at all, to try to.
Well, and you remember how as well, like when they had the PoE high scores, how there was, for a long time, there's this ongoing battle for the top in Prison of Elders with the scoring there.
Right.
So now it'll introduce a little competition too for people to go and do the nightfalls and try to get the best score in the novel ways that they can go about doing it. So even in-game activities like the nightfall will become more replayable or give you a different challenge.
Right.
So I think it's
Of course,
cool.
It'd be nice to see this at some point on the Heroic Strike playlist as well.
Yeah.
But in time, hopefully. Next up.
Mods 2.0.
Booyah.
Work is underway on a full rework of armor and weapon mods. This will focus on reducing redundant mods, more unique theming, and greatly increasing their impact on your power. We are aiming for a February release, but the scope of the rework could push parts or all of it out to early spring. We will be evaluating how mods play into the Bright Engram economy as a result, because we're sensitive to pay-to-win outcomes. I think Mods 2.0 is needed in a big way.
I also think this is kind of like a bullet point of we want to talk about it, but these other things are a little further
Still
ahead.
Stewing,
Yeah, we want to communicate with you guys, but this is a paragraph of not really being able to tell you much, just that we do want to rework it.
Yeah, well,
and it's a big
I can
system.
even appreciate that they're saying, like, because I think out of any of the things that they are queuing up or working on, probably the mod system is going to be the most complex.
Right. I mean, it's got to be a big undertaking.
Because they're obviously going to change an entire system that exists now and then have to introduce it in a way that makes it more interesting, doesn't break anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Replaces all the current mods. I mean,
it honestly has got to be pretty terrifying to them.
It's going to be like, when I'm trying to think of all the currency changes that happened in Destiny 1, but it's almost like going from House of Wolves to the Taken King.
Yeah, I mean, these things can be applied to everything in the game right now.
It's almost like introducing Ascension, or what was it called when the light level I can't even remember the term now. Infusion. Yeah. There we go. It's almost like going from the ethereal whatever orbs to infusion. Like it's a big change. Big change.
Well, and man, if this is like waiting on a game that got delayed and you're fine with it just because you want it to be the best game it can be, they can just work on this, guys, because the mods can be a game changer. Just take your time.
It can add it can add a lot of depth and fun to the game. So I don't want anything half baked for sure.
Right.
I don't think anybody else does either, and I think they're going to make sure they get it right.
Take your time, guys. Maybe by fall at the latest.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they've got some other shortlist items, quick play improvements. We're adjusting game mode rules to increase the pace of gameplay and power ammo acquisition in quick play. This is interesting. PC Tower chat. People have been begging for this. We're adding text chat to the tower for the PC version of the game. Exotic repetition reduction. This will prevent players from receiving the same exotic twice in a row. You may still receive duplicates, just not consecutively. And then finally, this is a great one. Fire team members on destination map.
Oh.
You will finally see the other members of your fire team on the destination map. Thank goodness.
Yes, that'll be cool. It took me a second to, I know we've been asking for this, but this actually means when you're on a planet and you pull up the map, you'll see the blue dots, right?
You'll see where they're at.
Excellent.
You don't have to ask, where did you just quick travel to?
Yeah. That seems like almost like an oversight, honestly.
Yep.
More than anything.
Probably, if I had to guess, that was probably something that got left on the cutting room floor. Like, probably they obviously thought about, we need to have this, but one of those things they didn't have time to finish,
Right.
Coded
Yeah.
out.
Just seems odd.
I know. A lot of weird stuff gets cut when they're trying to finish a game, man.
Gotta get it out the door.
Like, if it ain't done, sorry, buddy.
This isn't a game breaker.
Yeah.
They'll find each other.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, spring 2018. Looking even further ahead. Important statement here. We're taking the time we need in development of expansion 2 that will allow us to react to player feedback from Curse of Osiris. In the coming months, we'll talk to you more about what you can expect to find in Destiny 2's next story. The team is eager to show you what they've been working on. Independent of Expansion 2, the team will deliver a number of new features that will be released before or during Season 3. Every player of Destiny 2 will receive new content in the following categories. So, Crucible. We want to give players new reasons to play, more variety and balance improvement. Spring will bring Crucible Rank. Beginning with Season 3, we'll introduce seasonal Crucible ranks. 2 different ranks to pursue. Valor, which goes up as you complete matches. Winning helps you move up faster, but there's no loss penalties. And Glory goes up when you win and down when you lose. Performance is how you move up here. So I like how there's 2 different systems, right?
Yeah,
one that you can do just by playing, right? And then another if you're the hyper competitive and you want to be number 1 in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one's a bit more casual. Yeah, I mean, they're both ranking systems, but in that, one's a bit more casual and one's a bit more serious.
Yeah, and it looks like there are some unique emblems that display these numbers. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Private matches are coming to all players of Destiny 2. They've got a little image similar to what we've seen in the past in Destiny 1 of private matches with game options. Options look pretty similar to what we've seen in the past. Things you can change like game type, map, time limit, score to win, maximum lives, and allowing or disallowing resurrection. A little bit less than what I was hoping for as far as customs. But maybe that's something that we can get in the future. I'll hold out hope for that.
Yeah, this is just one of those things that, I mean, many will say they would have liked to have had and expected at the launch of the game. So it definitely just needs to be there. I don't know how much it'll be utilized, but yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Next up, 6v6 playlist.
This was probably the most shocking thing to me.
Breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Bringing 6v6 PvP to Destiny 2 in addition to the current 4v4 game modes.
Mm-hmm. I'm very surprised to even see that in there. I
was too.
Yeah, with how big. And of course, I do enjoy the 4v4 game modes. I mean, immediately people's feedback was, how is this going to work in the current maps? Is it are they going to introduce some new maps, bring back some old maps? What are they going to do? Is it going to be probably a particular playlist maybe? And then
I think sixes are going to fit fine in the current
you think
maps.
So? Well, the only thing is, man, is we'll have to see what the sandbox changes bring, because I mean, we all know the team shooting that is heavily weighted right now. So to throw 6 people 6v6 in those maps, like it definitely, like, my first thought is it'll make it more chaotic, it'll make it more fun, we'll get more orbs, like it could speed it up throwing 2 more people on each team. But then it's like, okay, wait a second, that's 2 more people on each team shooting other people. So it'll be interesting to see if
they're straight up bringing it. They've had to have been testing it. I mean, I would imagine say, hey, all right, if people are this much against just 4v4, let's throw in some 6v6 and let's see how it plays. And
I think
this coming out saying it's coming.
This is spring, so I'm wondering if how far they already know, like, what sandbox changes is going to be coupled with this,
right?
So that's something. If anything, it could be a little hint. That's sandbox changes are something they have not put their thumb on in this update. Oh, and not at all. Yeah.
And that makes me wonder if we could see some big changes.
I know there's a wave going through right now after some tweets. Christopher Barrett, man, he's fantastic. Like, he's just doing all kinds of stuff on Twitter and chatting with the community.
He is our hero right now, right? If you're the commensurate Destiny 1 veteran, Chris Barrett is your knight in shining armor right now, because he's going to bring Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
Right. But I just can't believe.
I'm not saying that the whole team and all of Bungie isn't on board with this, but he's becoming a figure that everybody is in love with, because he's the guy in charge of bringing the game back around, right?
Yeah, and it never hurts to have a face and a figure like that. But even more so, how much he is communicating on Twitter, and the whole team's behind, and he'll tweet that out too. Give props to the team and stuff; they're all behind it. But the fact that he's being as vocal and responsive as he is on Twitter right now is really fantastic. The questions he's answering.
What that means is that there is a clear vision for what the team at Bungie has decided Destiny 2 should be in the future.
Right.
He
has
can
the
sense ability. Confidence. Yeah, he has the ability to have confidence and say, yep, we're going to do this. This is something we want to do. We want to do this because decisions have been made and philosophies have been changed and shaken and rebuilt of what Destiny 2 is going to be now. It was put out as a certain product, and I think Bungie had to stand behind that product to a certain point. And now there's a shift, and they're gonna change what that product is, and he has the ability to communicate that now, because I think there's a clear picture moving forward, and that is something people should be really excited about.
Well, and I mean, this is probably a good time to mention this. We threw this tweet in there of his many tweets. He tweeted out after posting this dev update. Mind you, I'm pretty sure it was like evening of a Friday night. When he's could be doing other things. He said Destiny 2 needs more weapons that matter, both in power and the hunt to acquire them. Exotics need to live up to their name. The most skillful or visceral weapons like sniper shotguns and fusion rifles need to return to glory. We're on it. And then he said, this might not have come across strong enough in the update. The Sandbox team is an amazingly talented group and hard at work on changes. So Cyborg and I are talking about this. If you don't follow him on Twitter or kind of watch those feeds, that's the kind of stuff that he's tweeting on a Friday night. So it's fantastic, honestly.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Anyways, that's one bullet point we just went off on from 66.
Yeah, well, there's so much to talk about. So next up, Mayhem will return as a limited time event during Season 3 and going forward. That's exciting. That's exactly what I asked for. Bring it back on some kind of limited time affairs so that we can have fun with it when it comes around, but you don't get burnt out on it, because Mayhem was fun as heck. Right. So awesome. Excited about that. Additional fixes. We're making some changes to make quitting less common, and behind the scenes security improvements to help improve the overall Crucible experience. And then we've got additional highlights: weapon and ability balance pass, sandbox changes, exotic weapon and armor balance pass, seasonal reputation. Specific vendors will now display a seasonal ranking. Earning reputation will unlock unique seasonal rewards and will reset each season. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Improved Iron Banner and faction rallies. That's great. I hope they build on those. Playlist repetition reduction. Oh, man. If you've played Quick Play, then you know what we're talking about here. Preventing whatever mode that you get stuck on from playing for 5 straight games. Most of the time, Supremacy.
Over and over.
In-game player pursuits. We agree with your feedback on the imbalance between achievement and bright in-game rewards, and we will be making adjustments to shift more rewards into specific in-game pursuits instead of generic XP grinding for bright engrams. We are excited to share the details as soon as we have them worked out. Multi-emote. Choosing which emote you want mapped to your 4 emote slots.
Hey, finally. They want
That's
me to...
big one. They've been teasing this one since Destiny 2 launched.
Granted, like we said, like it could easily, we understand it could get moved down the list, but you want me to spend some money on some emotes?
Oh yeah, brother.
Slots.
Let me chain them up. Let me have fun with that. Like, for sure. Vault space.
We're still talking about vault space, dude.
We're targeting an additional 50 slots to player vaults. We don't believe just adding more space is a complete solution and are actively working on other changes to reduce load on your vault space.
This is like a flashback.
I.e. kiosks.
Right. I was just going to say, where are the kiosks? We're going to see kiosks in the tower.
We are adding an exotic accessory tab to vault collections. So you'll no longer need to spend vault space on exotic ships, spares, and ghosts. Thanks goodness.
Yes.
PC clan chat. We are adding clan chat to the PC version of the game, in addition to tower chat. And heroic strike changes will be introducing modifiers to add more gameplay variety to the experience. Woohoo! All right. Tell us what we can look forward to in fall of 2018.
Yes, fall of 2018 or sooner. Yeah, so probably, a lot of these are with the TTK equivalent of an expansion. We're working on a lot more that we're not quite ready to discuss. Expect more on this small sample of items in the future. Item collections and records, weapon slot and archetype improvements, additional Crucible playlists, e.g. Rumble.
Rumble, baby.
What? Rumble. Better clan rewards, masterwork exotics, pinnacle weapon and gear improvements, trials of the 9 improvements, shaders, and dismantling, the future of guided games, and address solo versus fire team matching. Here's the most interesting one that you could easily read over very quickly is weapon slot and archetype improvements. Weapon slots. Wait a second.
I'm willing to bet that they will change certain weapons from power to prime or to like energy or primary.
Just to mix it up. It's so funny because there's so many videos going around now and chatter of switching back to the D1, and it's I always, when I see stuff like that happen, I wonder again. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their studios and just sometimes they got to sit back and be like, oh no guys, like we love like the content being made about the game, but we're not going back to the old. Don't spread that, please. Like, don't spread that around.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that they are probably got a lot of different stuff on some whiteboards on how they want to do things. And I think it's telling when Chris Barrett mentions in a tweet that he wants snipers, shotguns, and fusions to return to glory. It doesn't just happen by improving the archetypes and the weapons. Right.
Well, and like we've mentioned many times, they're the
They're
the
weapon
developers
roles.
here.
They're play style roles.
Right. They, as in the Bungie team, they take our feedback, and Cyborg, you've said this before, and they take our ideas, our feedback, and what we would like to see, and then they put a little spin on it that typically turns out to be, a lot of times it turns out to be better than maybe what we would have done. Like, we many are saying revert back to the Destiny 1 weapon slots. I mean, I think they know we need some mix up in the Crucible and/or in PvE, and they're going to put a spin on what we're wanting that hopefully, ultimately will be what we're happy with. And like you said, I think they can do that by throwing some types in different areas and/or who knows, get crazy with the exotics like they did with NLB and stuff like that,
Sure.
Just mix it up. Make it just throw it on its head just a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't know. After all those years of asking for balance and things like that, it's like people are starting to realize that maybe balance is kind of boring.
No doubt. Well, I think that's what a lot of people are starting to realize, is that a balanced game isn't necessarily the most fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is the full scope of the information we were given in this development update blog, which was, quite a large blog and really detailed. They've obviously been hard at work scoping what's going to happen and already at work with some of these changes that they're announcing. I mean, as soon as 2 weeks away, we're going to start to see some improvements to the game, which I think is great. I like that they're going to do this, basically as they can implement. We're seeing stuff January, we see stuff February, we see stuff in spring, which, probably means March, April, May. So, it's going to be a trickle, but it's progress. And progress enough, I think, to make players feel like they are working on the game. They are working on improvements. They're going to push them out as they can make them happen. And I want to point out that all this stuff that they're doing, granted, not all of these are new ideas, but they're doing while they're preparing another expansion for us. Mm-hmm. And so we get to see just continuous update and improvements to the game along with new content in the wings. And that makes me feel really great about continuing to play the game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, one of the big things about Destiny 1 is, what they said in the TWAB that they're not going to do anymore. And that's just, we didn't know what they were working on. We didn't know if they heard our feedback. We didn't know this or that. So just logging on right now and playing, like you just said, Cyborg, it honestly even is a little more fun because we know what's coming all the way down the road. And yeah, dates and timelines could change, but we still know it's on the radar, Mm-hmm. And it just makes it, that much more fun to be in the loop, it feels like we're in the loop.
I think what got me most excited overall about this update was the things that they decided to improve or change in the game are the things that speak to the way I play the game. Mm-hmm. And it shows that when they came out and said they want to focus the game moving forward on certain types of players and play styles, and then when I see an update like this that tells me how that's going to happen, it makes me feel a lot more confident in investing my time in this game. Whereas, when Destiny 2 first dropped, I think it's very obvious now in hindsight, it was a product geared towards a broader audience, that were missing things that certain portions of the audience really wanted. And so now they've decided to pivot, and they're going to invest in the players that are still playing the game. And so seeing the details of how that's going to happen really excites me, because I can get back to the feel and the way of playing the game that always kept me engaged for so many years.
Right.
So I'm excited, man. There's a lot of naysayers.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I feel like, I do want to dabble in that conversation a little bit together, because it's, when I first read this, I was excited. I've read it 2 or 3 more times since then. Reading it again tonight with you, I'm pumped. Like I'm even more excited than my initial read. But I did, being an alpha player, I do have those feelings of like, why are we doing this again?
Mm-hmm.
The getting things that we've already had, or that we had already had in Destiny 1. And I feel like, this is something we definitely got to touch on. It's like strike scoring, or, just private matches, things that we had before. We've been down that road. We know they were already developing Destiny 2 when Year 3 stuff was implemented that really streamlined Destiny 1. But set that aside, to have that feeling of we're kind of going through the motions again with Destiny 2. And I don't want to get to the end of Destiny 2 before Destiny 3 comes out and look back and be like, man, the game is in a fantastic place now, but we just did that for 3 years for a second time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have said, and you guys know, I mean, I typically lean towards the positive outlook on things, but it does stink that we're kind of having to do this again. And granted, I think they acknowledged it a lot quicker. It's happening. It's going to happen a lot faster. The game, I'm having fun in the game right now. Many people are. Many people don't have any complaints. They're just having a good time playing the game. But I think it's going to be good that we're going to get back to a lot of the things we're used to, with some added things way faster than we did in Destiny 1. But
yeah, I agree with that.
I do hope that when Destiny 3 rolls around, I really hope they're exploring some way they can pull off, even being partnered with Activision and whatever other interested party. Like, we really got to get to a point with our favorite game where we're constantly building on the experience and not reverting back due to development cycles and things like that,
Yeah.
So the only other thing I would say is, if a lot of people have stopped playing Destiny, particularly Crucible players, and we've heard this from some other content creators this week, the sandbox changes, I think that the ranked isn't going to do it alone for the Crucible. Like, they really gotta spin some things up with the sandbox changes to get some of these players back, And I'm definitely anxious to see what they're going to do in the Crucible with certain things.
Yeah, I think to do that, to use their own term, they're gonna have to break some bones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think that they can, like some people are wishfully speculating that they're going to go back to the same systems we used to have in Destiny 1 with weapons and different things of that nature. But I think that there are some small variables they could change that would have some huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a developer, so whether or not those specific variables will work, creating an experience that is fun and balanced enough,
right?
I think is the question. Did they design themselves into a corner? I think is the scariest thought that I have.
Yeah.
If everything has to work together in a certain way, if you change TTK and mobility and do these things that high skilled players want, does the game break?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing is, as much as as pleased as I am with the communication we've had since the state of Destiny 2, as pleased as I am with all of these posts we're getting, all this communication from the team, from from Christopher Barrett. Like, that's enough for me. I'm already having fun in the game. That's enough for me. Like, that really creates rapport with me, even more so with them, and makes me, like I said earlier, the things you mentioned, just playing right now, I'm excited because I know what's coming. And the life cycle of Destiny 2, it's going to be a blast. The game is going to get to a point where it's even more fun, and I hope everybody returns to it, you know, some of the people that have left. I do see where people who have stopped playing at this point read this, and it doesn't, I can see where it wouldn't excite them enough to come back, you know?
Sure.
Or maybe, you know, you see the post where they say, I'll be back in the fall, you know?
Yeah, and I think that we're ripe for a very similar occurrence to what happened with the Taken King.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, you know, I think to sum it up, like, the game is fun. The game is going to get more fun. I think the lesson learned here, and I mean, I don't envy some of the things Christopher Barrett and the team are having to take on right now. You know, I mean, indirectly or directly, they got themselves to this point. Luckily, I mean, a lot of the community supportive, still positive. We're still hanging around, still having fun with the game. But I think come fall, the game's going to be setting even in a prettier place. What I do hope is that, you know, they're already thinking about it. They're already developing it. I hope that when the next iteration of the game, like I said, we see an improvement on the way the experience is moved forward without feeling like we backtrack a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I feel like this is a bit of a, you know, you gotta stumble a little bit, and I feel like they're learning a lot, just like they did with Destiny 1. You know, they learned with Destiny 1 because we're getting back to a place, a streamlined way to play the game a lot quicker than we did in Destiny 1 with this timeline. So they've learned from the past, and I think they're learning even more right now what we'll probably be experiencing when the third iteration of the game launches.
Yeah.
So anyways,
I think that, for lack of a better metaphor, I think Bungie is hard-headed. And I say that because I'm hard-headed.
They're backing off of it a little bit now.
I'm super hard-headed. My dad was that way. My son is super hard-headed. I usually have to make the same mistake like at least twice before I learn. Like, it's got to hit me right in the face a couple times.
It's Destiny
First time,
2, so
I'm like, yeah, it happened. I'll try my luck again. And I think that it may have taken a couple smacks in the face of Bungie trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And I think that this shows that they are, they have more clarity in what this game should be, more clarity of what types of players stick around to play the game, and what those players want. And I think that they're going to be a lot quicker in shifting the experience for those players. And I think they're ripe for a huge expansion in the fall, and maybe even in the spring.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be the tell all. Mm-hmm. I think when we get to the fall, what happens, and you know, in the end, if it's too little, too late for you, then
right,
cool.
Yeah, and the thing is you know, I don't want to. Me either, exactly, and like, I'm super pumped about this stuff, and I don't want to downplay this at all, because this stuff is huge. This is fantastic. But what's even bigger, and even if you're not going to return to the game, what's more important is the direction they're going now, and the communication they're opening with us and getting us involved in their development process. And even if you're not returning to the game right now, I think everyone can agree this is exactly what the way it should happen and the way it should go from now on. all the way into to other numbered sequels or however they do it with the game. I think we all can be pretty pleased, whether we're playing the game, coming back, with the way they're tackling it now, for sure. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, well, yeah. So I'm excited, man. You know, there's stuff that's coming back that we've seen before. There's new things that we have to look forward to. Mm-hmm. A lot of these things I see as very continued theme of laying foundation down, mm-hmm. Of things that as they develop the game further, that they can add depth to. And so I see a lot of potential, and I think that they are smart in laying down groundwork for things like Masterworks,
right?
Private matches, ranking
well, you know, that's
systems.
The thing, like the Armor Masterworks and the Weapon Masterworks, is the fact that we're getting those January 30th that's quick. I mean, that's awesome. And I think you're right. I think Masterworks is just the base level of what that system's going to turn into. I think you're spot on with that. So
yeah, so
I think that's a lot of the stuff.
I think this is all positive, and if it's not enough for you, then fair enough. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of players that are going to be playing will enjoy this stuff, and maybe people will be enticed to come back, you know, the end of the year or something, and that'll be great too.
Right. Keep your comms open, follow the feeds even if you're not playing, and check back in. I think we'll be pleased with the communication, and
it's all about having fun, man.
Right.
You know, fun for some is not for others. So, just look for places you can have fun, and as they give us new ways to have fun, we'll be excited about that. And
well, let me tell you, dude, when 6 Masterworks drop for you in 1 week, and you upgrade your favorite gun, and you put a little Guardian
felt like
dress
you did
up,
something, huh?
I've had a pretty fun week in Destiny.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, man. That's what matters. That's why we're all in this whole hobby, right? To have fun.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, that leaves on a great note this week to ask for your Derp Fam discourse. Mm-hmm. We would love to hear what you think about the update. Did it have the things that you were hoping for? Is it left you wanting? What is missing for you? What are you most excited about? What kind of potential do you see in some of these things? I'd love to hear.
We got a lot to talk about.
Thoughts on this stuff over the next weeks, mm-hmm. As we kind of chew on this stuff a little bit. So
yeah, we're talking months of feedback. You guys gotta
absolutely send us in
your thoughts.
So send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or speakpipe.com/destinyreset. I think we got an email this week, right?
Yeah, we did. We got an email from Jeremy, aka JG. He's got some I's in his name too, but we'll leave it at JG.
Those bookends.
Yeah, the bookends. Somebody had the tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be why I have X in front of and at the end of Arrow Knight on PlayStation.
X, capital O, exclamation points, Arrow Knight, 420 no scope, X, capital O, lowercase.
As long as you put it on the front and the back, you know, it balances it out, and you can tell what the person's gamer tag is.
Yep.
Anyways, Jeremy, JG says, been having fun with a hunter. He says, hey guys, with all this salt being thrown around, I wanted to share what I've been having fun with. It's a little strange, but it's a blast. Hunter Arcstrider running Gambler's Dodge, Way of the Warrior combat flow, and either Gemini Jesters or the Dragon Shadow and Hawthorne Shoddy, and my Masterworks Better Devils. You are a melee and dodging machine of death. Also works with just about any SMG. Anyway, thanks for reading. Gamertag is... We gotta give him a shout out, but I want to say it's I. Did I say 3? I 4 eyes space JG space 4 more eyes, unless it's lowercase L's, and then we got ourselves a problem here. Anyways, dude, this is what an appropriate
sounds like a fun
email.
Build.
Yeah, make your own fun, right?
My favorite hunter mechanic is that Gambler's Dodge, and the mechanic where you can dodge, melee, like it keeps filling the other one up.
That's awesome.
So you can like dodge around an enemy, knock it out, dodge, knock the other one out, dodge.
Wow.
And so I haven't tried it with Gemini gestures, but I bet it'd be fun as heck.
Man, all I know right now is the Way of the Titan, because as you know, in Destiny 1, I had all 3 characters, but it's just Titans for me right now. This sounds like
fun, dude.
If I had a hunter and they gave me No Land Beyond back, this could be Dodge, No Land amazingness.
There you go. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd make you get really good at those quick, those quick, like, just pull your scope and fire. And I don't know what you even call that, like a snapshot.
My old fave.
Some good practice there. Yeah, thanks for that, man. So go try that out if you're a hunter. That's Gambler's Dodge, Way of the Warrior, Gemini Gestures, or Dragon Shadow, along with your favorite weapon. Could give it a shot.
Very cool. Thanks for that.
We got some patron shout-outs this week, man.
We do have another. Yeah, we got a new patron, Flag G 1976.
Awesome.
Or just Flag 1976. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. If you would like to become a patron, you can do so by going to patreon.com/destinyreset. You can support the production budget of the show for as little as $1 a month pledge. Those monies go to things like hosting fees and better equipment and all the fun stuff that helps us run the show and keep it out of our own pockets. You guys have done an excellent job of providing for our production budget over 2017. We're so thankful for that and your continued support in 2018.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, and you get some perks. You get a shout out on the show, as you've seen. You also get you get your name on our website, and there's a little section for you for our patrons. And you also get exclusive access to a Discord channel just for patrons, where you can talk to us and bend our ears, and we have to answer you. Even the most mundane questions, like how you like your coffee.
Yes. Which we got some feedback on this week.
Yeah. And we forgot to mention for a little while too, if you're not into the monthly giving and you just want to do a one-time contribution, you can also do that. We have a PayPal link on our website where you can just do a one-time donation, and those are just as awesome. And we thank you folks that have contributed that way as well.
Yes. You will find your gamer tag nicely secured on the website.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
All right, man. Why don't you tell the folks where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheArrowKnight, and on Twitch and YouTube, it's Arrow Knight. What about you, buddy?
Wonderful. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Twitch. And then finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. And also on the World Wide Web, www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to the show, ways to subscribe, ways to give back, and ways to join the community, discord.gg/Destiny Reset. If you can't remember that, there's a link somewhere on the website, I think. I might be wrong. But anyways, jump in, join the community. There's always chatter going on. Ways to sign up for the clan, people to talk to, lore to be discussed. Come on by.
Plenty to talk about. This week, got a couple new iTunes reviews. Got to give a shout out to Carter Lane and Big Chief Clay. Dude, did you read this one? This is hilarious. This one's Big Chief Clay. Destiny Reset podcast is a lot like pineapple pizza. When it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
I can't provide any commentary on that without impeaching the quality of our own show. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
I thought it was funny. I just read it as a place, from a place, a person that likes pineapple pizza. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Just say thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
But iTunes reviews, if you listen on iTunes, please go leave us a review. It helps us get seen by more listeners if they're searching for a Destiny show. Shows with more and highly rated reviews, of course, get better search results. So we thank you for those reviews.
Thank you very much. And Cyborg.
Yes.
I had fun talking to you as usual. Sometime we'll play together again. I don't know when we're going to do that, especially
someday.
Yeah. We'll
separated by
Crimson
consoles.
Doubles.
One way the console wars will end.
I think we fit in some Crimson Doubles together last go around.
I think we did, yeah.
We'll make it a point
PC.
to do that. PCs where we all meet in the middle, man.
We meet. Yep.
PC world.
The great equilibrium. Blah blah blah. The great equalizer.
It's late. It's late, guys.
I need to go to sleep. All right.
Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.